after the successful opening session of the Extraordinary Summit on the Comprehensive Africa Agriculture Development Program in Kampala, the participants kept hopes flowing towards enhancing the agricultural value chain in Africa. Interacting with a section of the delegates, the objectives of the CAADP Summit are achievable if Africa positions itself to the best strategies and investment in agriculture, as Hamidi Boga, the Vice President in charge of program delivery at AGRA, explains.
I think the most important thing is to make sure that the private sector is enabled by governments to invest more by creating an enabling environment, making sure that we have the right policies, making sure that we are fighting corruption and removing all bureaucratic bottlenecks that hamper investments in Africa, because agriculture is business, and there are a lot of resources that could go into agriculture if we created the right enabling environment.
The summit is long overdue, as Africa is said to be going through an unprecedented time on food security, climate change, insecurity and imbalance in trade. Rebecca Amuge Otengo, the Uganda's ambassador to Ethiopia, decries Africa's inability to feed itself amid a wide coverage of fertile and arable land.
Now, Africa can no longer feed itself, yet we have over 65% to 70% of the arable land in the world. We have all the human resource that can go for agriculture. We have the young population. Africa has one of the best weather in the world. But what we produce, sometimes we sell at a very low cost because we don't add value.
The permanent secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, Major General David Kasura Chomukama, is hopeful of chances of market creation, especially for countries like Uganda, where some areas have food in abundance.
An example is your shirt. You need, for example, I noticed that you have branded your shirt UBC. So UBC requires a shirt which is branded. And I guess this is a cotton shirt. So immediately, in the value chain, you have created a demand for cotton, for the cultivators of cotton.
General Kasura is aware of the high foreign dependency by African countries, but says a comprehensive free market will help bridge the gap.
What is important is to accept that we must have a free market. We must have as large a market as possible so that we can actualize, we can have meaningful value chains.
As the conference enters day 2 on Friday this week, the discussed strategies are not far from the famous agenda of the Africa we want, agreeing on the development strategy and action plans for the next 10 years.
So this is a concerted effort of African heads of state is to make sure that we provide food and nutrition security for our citizens, create employment, and also industrialize to make sure that whatever we produce, we add value.
Marion Awori and Daniel Mugoya for UBC.